Hey everybody, I'm not in the woods. I'm not out boots on the ground this morning. I'm here at home in my little office, and I decided to follow through with a promise I made you guys months and months ago. I promised you guys that I would in detail tell you about my Bigfoot encounter in this wildlife management area I had way back. I've let the cat out of the bag in some of my previous videos. I talked about it. Again, I promised everyone that I would go ahead and just tell everything that happened, and that's what this video is. The weather's kind of threatening here in Mississippi, and I'm just not going to go out there, and the wind's howling and blowing, and that's all the microphone would pick up would be that. So I just decided to do a video here at the house, and I'm going to start doing more videos from here in my little office area. Back over there behind me, I have Logan the cat. He is directing and supervising this shoot, and if I don't do anything right, if I get a fact wrong or whatever, I'm sure he will correct me and get me back on the right path. So let's get started so that we can get through this and not have an overlong video. Okay, this, got some notes here. This sighting occurred on July the 31st, 2022. And this is in an area that I refer to as Research Area 1 and 2. It's a wildlife management area, and for the sake of people that live out there and all the other logical reasons, we're just going to refer to it as RA1 and 2. So again, this happened on 7/31/2022. I decided I wanted to go to this area where Bigfoot sightings have been reported. There is a legend out there that was discovered and investigated by my good friend and fellow researcher and investigator M.K. Davis, of a Bigfoot that was in this area from way back that they refer to as the Red Man. And when you hear my story, it's going to kind of tie in, his research, what he's found, along with the fact that that there have been, numerous Bigfoot sightings and reports from this place. If you'll remember, this is where this happened at. This happened on the very same road where I saw the big black box or cube. I did a video about that called The Thing in the Road. There's just been all kinds of activity out there. And The Thing in the Road, if you want to go back and watch that video, and I encourage you to do so, that was an event that really shook me up, and I didn't go back for a good little while. But I digress. Let's get on with talking about what happened. We'll talk about the other things in future videos. Okay, so on this particular morning, I got up and I headed out to Research Area 2. That was my goal. So I get into the WMA, and as I'm driving along, I've probably gone, a handful of miles into the area, when over on my left-hand side of the road, I saw what looked like some tree breaks. So I stopped the vehicle, I got out, walked over and looked, and sure enough, I found just a plethora of tree breaks. The tree breaks were probably trees that were about this big around. They were pointed over this way. The ones that I first saw, there was probably 3 or 4, 2 really clear ones you'll see in the pictures I'll put up. As I walked down, I found another handful they were aimed back towards the ones that were pointing this way. And I knew right then that that I was in a good zone. I was in a good spot. Machinery had not done this. I cannot for the life of me believe for a second that a human went out there and did this, because you're in a swamp. And if you're wading out there where these tree breaks were, and machinery could not, get out there, there's not a way for a human to have done this. And if you were a human and you went out there to do this, then there's something really disturbing about you as a person, because you're going to get snake bit. You're taking your life in your own hands to go out there and to perpetuate Bigfoot tree breaks. It's just not. It's not something that nobody. Now there's people that will do it. I can't lie and say that they're not. There are people that will fake things. We all know that. But I knew right then that this was not a fake thing. So I drive on down to my goal, which is RA2. I get to RA2 and nothing's happening. There's no activity, no whoops, no wood knocks, nothing. So I decide to come back, park again beside the tree breaks, and take some pictures and shoot some video. So I come back down the road the way I came, and I park on the opposite side of the road. The same side that I drove down. I parked over on that side, and I got out. I walked over and looked at the tree breaks again, and I'm still satisfied that these are tree breaks. So I go back to my SUV and I get my camera. I walk back over to the side of the road, the left, where these things are at, and I snap a bunch of pictures. And of course I'm looking both directions of the road. I would hear somebody was coming. Nobody came that day down the road. So I walk over to my SUV again. I put my camera, stow my camera, and I get my camcorder. I walk back over to the other side of the road and I start filming. And I'm just, going back and forth. I take some clips with me talking. I take some clips without me talking. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I might as well go ahead and head home. I think the weather that day was kind of iffy, so I decided to go ahead and bug out. So I cut my camera off. How many times does this happen, folks? I cut my camera off, closed the lens, and I'm looking at the tree breaks, and as I turn back around, I'm looking down the road the opposite way that I came. And as I am looking down the opposite way, the grass was about 3 to 4 foot tall. They had not mowed the grass. It was out of control. It was rough and woolly. So this grass was 3 or 4 foot tall, and it was thick. As I looked down that way, something leans out of the grass. It leans out. It doesn't walk out. It doesn't step out. It doesn't crawl out. It leans out. It leans out, and it's looking, as best I can tell, it's looking back down the road in the direction that I came. It leans out for just a few seconds, maybe 5 to 10 seconds. It leaned out there for what seemed almost like an eternity, but of course it wasn't. It was very short. It leaned out, it went back into the weeds, and gone. I never saw it, never heard it. I did not smell anything. I didn't feel anything. I didn't get no weird feelings or anything. So I wasn't afraid. It didn't scare me. So I'm wondering to myself at that point in time, what the heck did I just see? So again, the weather is getting hairier by the second, and I knew that I was fixing to get rained on, caught in a thunderstorm or something. So I decided to bug on out. And I believe, I stand to be corrected, I'm not sure, but I think this is the last thing that I saw as I was approaching the check-in and check-out station was a stick, this one stick, probably, I don't know, 2-3 foot long, shoved into the side of the road in the ground, small end, not big end, small end, and just kind of poked up there. So I stopped and took pictures and video of that. I believe that was the same day. So to back up, again, I turned to leave, and when I turned, that's when I saw this thing. Now this is kind of what it did. I'm in a sitting position, and I have to assume that this thing was probably in a crouched position. I don't believe it would have been on its knees. I certainly don't believe it was on all fours, because it would have been lower. So I believe it was kind of in a crouched position, and this is basically what it did. It did this right here. It leaned out like that, and sat there for a few seconds, and then it leaned back in and was gone, totally gone. This is what I saw. I saw a head, a humanoid shaped head. And I would say it was the backside of the head, because I never saw eyes, I never saw nose, I never saw lips or anything like that. I'm positive that this creature was looking back down the road the way that I had just come. So when it leaned out, I saw head, I saw shoulder, and I saw arm and elbow. When it leaned out like that, it was a reddish orange. Remember me talking about the red man? This thing was a reddish orange, and I'm thinking that it was a juvenile. It didn't look terribly big. It did not look huge or anything like that. So I'm leaning towards it being a juvenile. Again, I decided after seeing this thing, at that point I wasn't sure what I saw. Once I got down the road and got to the checkout station, that's when it kind of hit me as to what I saw. And I decided not to go back, because if this was a juvenile, if you're going to have a juvenile around, you're probably going to have mom and dad somewhere, close by as well. I always tell everybody this. When you see one Bigfoot, you might just see one, but there are others somewhere in the area. Now, this juvenile, probably, it had to have known that I was there. It probably had been watching me take pictures, because this was on the same side of the road now as the tree breaks. So it was right there within that area, within 50, 60, maybe maximum 70 yards. I don't believe it was that far. It was way less than 100 yards. So it was on the same side of the road as the tree breaks. So it's possible, conjecture on my part, it's possible that this Bigfoot or its other family members or whatever may have been responsible for those tree breaks. I don't know that. But tree breaks, young, possible juvenile Bigfoot within just, yards of these tree breaks, that's where it kind of leans me. So again, it was a reddish orange, and it was hair. I think somewhere, I had mentioned in a personal clip that I recorded for myself so that I would not forget this, I used the term fur. It was not fur, it was hair. So this much I can tell you. It was not a human. It was not a bear. It was not a dog. It was not a coyote. It was not an alligator. It's not a hog. It wasn't any type of bird. When you strike out all those things, I just have to say that it was a Bigfoot. And I always use this term, you do the math. If you're going to a place where there are Bigfoot reports, where you've had strange encounters, where you have heard wood knocks, where other investigators have told me that they saw Bigfoot in this place, this very same area, specifically what I refer to as RA2, which was my main goal, they saw a Bigfoot down at RA2, then you know that you're in the right spot to have a Bigfoot encounter. And in my mind, in my heart, that's exactly what happened. I've been in the woods with Bigfoot all around me, been surrounded by them. I've been in places while they were there and while they were active. So this is my first time to actually see one. Okay, I had to pause the camera there for just a moment. But in conclusion, and again, I'll have some pictures and some video clips of the location right behind this. So stay tuned. Don't go away just yet. In conclusion, that was my sighting. Again, this happened in 2022, and you know, it took me a while to talk about it. It took me a while to go ahead and you know, reveal and admit that, you know, that I saw this. And you know, we always ask ourselves when we interview a witness or something, well, why did it take you so long to come out and talk about this? I'm a researcher and investigator for MUFON, and people will come out and talk about their UFO sightings or their alien encounter, and it's years past that that it occurred, but they're just now talking about it. And I can see why now. You have to wonder how are they going to react? What are they going to say? Thank goodness we live in an era now where you can talk about things like this, UFOs and Bigfoot and Dogman and the paranormal, and people don't look at you, you know, quite so strangely these days. It's a little more out there and a little more open. So that's my encounter. That's my sighting. I will stop the video here and let you guys watch the other clips. I'll say this real quick. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. The thing that you're going to get from me is you're not going to get a bunch of really fancy CGI clips. You're not going to get reenactments. You're not going to get crazy graphics. What you are going to get is a guy who is boots on the ground, who is investigating places and encounters here in the state of Mississippi. And if you have an encounter or a sighting or something you want to talk about, please reach out to me. You can contact me at www.unexplainedmississippi.com. You can reach me here, or reach me rather, through the YouTube channel, Unexplained Mississippi, or the Unexplained Collective. Facebook, Unexplained Mississippi. I recently changed the name from the Unexplained Collective to Unexplained Mississippi, and very shortly there will be a Unexplained Mississippi Bigfoot Dogman Investigations group page. So please holler at me, contact me if you want to talk about your sighting, if you want to report something, if you do not want your name and identity out there. I will not share it or reveal it without your permission. So again, that was my video, or that was my Bigfoot encounter. and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and help the channel grow. And if you know of people that are into Bigfoot and Dogman and they want to talk, please get them to reach out to me. I would love to talk to them, and they'll be safe and secure. They won't have to worry about being embarrassed or anything like that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And now here are some clips that I promised you, that with some pictures and me going back to the areas where the encounter took place. Thanks a bunch. Catch you later. Okay, I found the spot. I found the tree breaks. Matter of fact, there they are. Right there. They're getting old. They're showing their age. But you'll notice there's like two right there in frame that I found last year. I mean, right off top of the bat, there's 1, 2. So I found those two last year, and I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm gonna ease down, but it was just down here on the side, the left-hand side of the road, that I saw the Bigfoot. So I'm gonna pause the camera. We'll cut it right back on in just a second. I'm gonna hop out and take some pictures and then get back in. So I'll cut the camera back on once I get down to the general area where I saw the creature. So be right back. Okay, I think I've pretty much found the spot where this thing stepped out at. I'm just gonna hop out real quick. Cause like I say, I don't know who's gonna come up, you know. All right, right back that way is where, you know, the tree breaks are, not 60, 70 yards back. Right about here, off, you know, the grass was real tall at that time. The grass was probably 3-4 feet high. But that's where it was. So right in here is where, you know, this creature leaned out of the wood, the weeds rather, and it was looking back that way. It never looked at me. But like I say, I'll give a whole detailed account of what happened in a later video. You know, I just wanted to go ahead and get it on out there and let it be out. And more importantly, I wanted to document, you know, where I saw it at, so that I won't forget. So it's right before that little turn off right there, so I should be able to remember that pretty easy now. But this is the spot right here. This is the spot where this thing leaned out of the brush and was looking back that way. Like I say, it wasn't looking at me, but it was looking back that way.